Welcome back to KAMMA. I'm Khalil Deal.
Mandio.
We are KAMMA back again to talk about UFC Seattle, UFC Fight Night Seattle. This is going to be an event with Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. And we're going to talk about our early predictions for the prelims and go through the whole card right now. Instead of starting it off with Modestas Bukauskas versus Rafael Cerqueira. Nick Klein versus Mansour Abdul Malik. Ricky Simon against Javid Basharat. Nursultan Rizoboyev against Eric Mikonico. Jan Kutelaba versus Ibo Aslan. And the main event of the prelims, Andre Fili versus Melquizael Costa. Lots of fights that got canceled in this one for UFC Seattle, but
Canceled, switch around. We have 7 in total.
Yeah, a lot of cancellations. It's crazy, man. But at least we got 11 fights so far. Let's see if they're going to add any throughout the course of the week. We'll keep you guys up to date. Last week, very good week. I went 10-2 on the predictions. My boy Andy O 8-4, so I carried the channel for this week.
How's your back feeling there?
Back for carrying the channel this week. A couple weeks ago, it was you that carried the channel, Andy O, when you went 10-1 there. So. We won't talk about last week there was a terrible card. The week before that was a terrible card, but last week was great. So let's keep it going. Let's get it into it right now with the first fight of the prelims. We got Modestas Bukauskas against Rafael Cerqueira. Who do you got here, Andy O?
All right, so here we got Modestas Bukauskas, who's a guy who got kicked out of the UFC for stinking it up and came back. And while not on the level of what's his name last week that's tearing it up right now, he does look better. And I liked his performance the last time against Martin Prachnio, where I was expecting a more like pitter-patter distance fight, but they were really going at it pretty hard. And as far as Cerqueira goes, he lost his first fight in the UFC, never really beat anybody special, and I think Bukauskas' experience and the fact that he has some submissions going on in his game will make the difference here. Cerqueira, he's a good grappler, and he can wrestle pretty well. So that's the worry if he really gets that chain wrestling going against Bukauskas. And he has decent striking, but I think he'll gas sooner than Bukauskas if it comes to that. So give me Bukauskas by decision.
Alrighty, man. Yeah.
Or knockout.
All right. Modestas Bukauskas is a guy, like you said, has been in the UFC before, got kicked out and came back. He did have that bad injury, that knee injury when he fought Khalil Roundtree, who ended up kicking him in the knee and then really messed him up there, and he was out for a while. And then he came back, fought in the Cage Warriors, and then came back and fought in the UFC. Did well against Tyson Pedro. Zach Palga did get that loss to Vitor Petrino. And then he beat Marcin Prachnio, like you said, in his last fight. So Bukauskas is good, man. He's got some very good kicks, also some good strikes as well. Good on the feet. Rafael Cerqueira, I looked at a couple of his fights, man. He has some power, but he's fighting a bunch of like lower level fighters, man. I did see a nice highlight reel, if you guys want to check it out on YouTube, when he fought Ivan Nilsson Diaz. He knocked him out with a spinning elbow. It was really, really awesome. That spinning elbow knocked him right out. That was a highlight reel right there. It was pretty crazy. The fight against Ibo Aslan, he really couldn't last very long in that fight. Got knocked out there. But against these lower level fighters in demo fight, he was knocking out guys and subbing guys in there. He does.
No, sorry again. How good is Ibo Aslan? I'm not sold on Ibo Aslan either. So
we're going to talk about Ibo soon. He's on this card. Yeah, man, Rafael. He does look pretty good. I mean, the guy. He did look pretty good in the cage, like when he was fighting in the demo fight in the lower promotions. He does have jiu-jitsu. You can see that he's with CTJ Judo and Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of that fight camp. He's got also he's also fighting out of Galpao de Luta, so these guys could wrestle there. He is a good wrestler and grappler. I think he's a very good dog. I'm gonna pick Modestas Bukauskas to get the win, though. I just he's not proven enough, Raphael, for me to actually pick him to win. I do think he's a good dog, though, but to pick him to win, I can't because I haven't seen enough of him yet. We have to see him fight somebody in the UFC other than Ibo Aslan, who knocked him out really early in that fight. Um, I'd like to see, how he does against a few more fighters in the UFC before picking him to win. We haven't seen him do very much. I mean, that loss was in the first round, 50 seconds into the first round. Ibo Aslan just knocked him right out. So we didn't really get to see what Rafael Cerquera can actually do against some real UFC fighters. So I'm going to go with Modestas Bukauskas to get the win here. This guy's a pretty tough guy. I don't think he knocks him out. I could see maybe him winning by decision, Modestas Bukauskas. He does have some knockout power, Bukauskas. He's got some very good body kicks too, you never know. He could knock him out. But Rafael Sequeira too has very good body kicks. I wanted to mention that. I've seen a lot of his fights where he kicks. He gets a lot of good kicks to the body. Even knocked out a guy by kicking him in the body. But Bukauskas, man, he's been knocked out 4 times. That's what I'm worried about. But I'll go with Modestas Bukauskas to get the win here. I'll say he wins by KO or decision. I don't think he subs Cerqueira, even though he does have some submissions. But Cerqueira is pretty good on the ground. All right, so we're in agreement with the first fight. Let's move on. Next fight, Mansour Abdul Malik against Nick Klein. For this one here, man, I gotta go with Mansour Abdul Malik, man. I mean, the guy's an absolute beast. He's also fighting. Nick Klein is coming in on short notice. Originally, this fight was supposed to be Mansour Abdul Malik against Antonio Tricoli. That fight got canceled. Tricoli withdrew. And now Nick Klein is coming in on short notice. I don't think it's a good look for Nick Klein. He's not the greatest striker. He does have some good submission skills, very good at rear naked chokes. That's where he normally gets his bread and butter. He likes to get rear naked chokes for his subs. Actually, the last 3 fights that he won were all by rear naked choke. But I like Mansour Abdul Malik, a very good wrestler, good knockout power, and I can see him fending off takedowns against Nick Klein, and just the power there, man. He's very explosive, very athletic. 27 years old. He's going to have an inch height advantage too. I like him to win by knockout. So I'll go with Abdul Malik to win by knockout. He's also going to have a 3-inch reach advantage too on top of it. And plus, Buddy's coming in on short notice. How about you, Andio?
Yeah, here, Nick Klein reminds me how he fights and how he looks of Clay Guida. So that's what we have going for us here. He's going to try for those takedowns, try to rough you up, try to just hit you everywhere. But unfortunately for him, he's going up against Mansour Abdul Malik here, who's shown to be like a finisher, a vicious opponent in there. Himself, he's more of a striker. I wouldn't surprise to see this winding up on the ground at some point with even Malik turning it over and ground and pounding Nick Klein here. And the way he even the way he gets out of subs is like he doesn't try to squirm out sometimes. He just tries to like hurt you to get out of those subs. Everything hurts with this guy. So I look for Mansour to get the finish here also. Did you say finish?
Yeah, I said knockout. He couldn't even get a submission. He does have 1 sub.
Yeah,
I'll go with knockout though.
I'm going with knockout here also.
Ground and pound. I see him getting a grounded pound. He's very good at wrestling. So he's good at takedowns too. So if he takes down Nick Klein, gets on top of him, I could see him ground and pounding him out, just like he did against Dusko Tudorovic when he knocked him out. And most of the fighters that he fought, he knocks them out by ground and pound. He's very powerful.
Yeah, I see him hurting him on the feet and putting him away with ground and pound. Yeah, so that's my call.
All right, we're in agreement with the second fight. And the other guy, like I said, coming in on short notice, making his UFC debut. Not really a good look for Nick Klein coming in on short notice like that.
All
There you
right.
have it there. Let's move on to the next fight here. Oh
So
yeah, this
next,
is going to be a hell of a fight.
all right. So it's Ricky Simone against Javid Basharat. Here, upon second look, man, this fight is going to be possibly a little closer than the odds suggest.
Mhm.
Uh, but his last fight, man, I think Ricky Simone looked pretty bad. I know he
Horrible,
lost. I
horrible.
He lost to a guy that he looks pretty good. Um, uh, I have
Vinicius Oliveira.
Yeah, Oliveira, but the way Oliveira beat him, man, like bullied him around, bossed him around, like manhandled him at times in there, it seemed. Ricky Simone was gassing. But on the other side of things, like the previous two opponents of his were they were pretty good, right? Like we're talking top level guys. He has a lot more experience against top level guys. Just want to get up here if you have it quick. Who he fought last year, Ricky Simone. He lost.
Vinicius Oliveira was the last fight.
Yeah,
The fight before that, Mario Batista,
yeah,
and
and the one before.
then Song Yadong, who's actually main eventing.
Sonya. So we're talking about pretty good guys here, but I don't know, man. And I'm not the type always to look at just their last fight to make a call here, but I didn't like that at all. Simone's the type of guy that's going to pressure you and work for those takedowns and try to hurt you more later in the fight if he can because he's going to count on his a better gas tank than you. Like he tries to make his gas tank work for him. Where Basharat, man, he's very good technically, I find. Uh, he doesn't have much power though, and he lost his last fight because of cardio, I think, and that's not a good look. But he's very young, so that may be a little blip here. But he's a very good scrambler if Simone gets him down, and not to mention he's better at BJJ. So BJJ against wrestler battle here, battle of cardio, better technical striker for sure is Basharat. He's probably going to be able to win that battle. He would win on the feet, that's for sure. Question is, will he be able to damage Ricky Simone enough? And will his gas tank hold up? Because when it's all said and done, you can pretty much count on at least Ricky Simone's gas tank. But I'm going to lean with Basharat here uh, by a little. And I'm going to take him by decision just because he's going to wind up getting more volume and damage.
Yeah, man, this is a good fight, man. It's going to be a close fight too, I believe. Um, of course, Ricky Simon, though, the guy has fought the better fighters. We gotta definitely say that, man. In his career, much more higher level fighters that he fought compared to Bacherat. Like we just mentioned there, Vinicius Oliveira, Mario Batista, Song Yadong, even Jack Shore and Rafael Asuncao, Brian Kelleher, if you were going to go back a little bit further.
Ryan Faber, but he couldn't beat
Yeah,
Uriah Faber. Couldn't.
Uriah Faber, Rob Font, so he's fought like a lot of guys, man. He's been in the UFC for quite some time. He's 32 years old, so he's still like in his prime. Now, Topology has Javid Basharat at 5'9", and Ricky Simon at 5'6". As you can see here on Sherdog, they have these guys a little bit closer, 5'7" for Basharat and 5'6" for Simon. I can't wait to see the face-offs to see who's taller here by how much. But if Javid Basharat is 3 inches taller, definitely like that for Javid. They both have the same reach, but Javid, like you said, is a more technical fighter. I like the way he takes his time. He's patient in there. He's got very good striking, good boxing, good punches. Ricky Simone's a good boxer too, though. But Basharat's a good at takedown defense. So Ricky Simone will try to take him down. He might have a hard time. The thing that I don't like about Ricky Simone, in that last fight, we were screaming at the screen for him to get a fucking takedown on Vinicius. He didn't even get one takedown on Vinicius Oliveira. He didn't even go for a takedown. We were screaming at the screen,
He
come
looked
on,
very,
go for a takedown, come on, and he didn't do it. So I
he
don't know
looked
if I could.
terrible, terrible in that fight.
Just looked horrible. I don't know if I could trust him to get any takedowns in this fight against Javid, and even if he tries to, I think Javid will stuff them because he's very good at takedown defense. And like you said, if he does get taken down, he's good at scrambling down there. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well. I'm going to go with Javid Basharat to get the win here. I say he wins by knockout or decision. I don't think he subs Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone's very good at avoiding subs. He's only been subbed once in his whole career, but he has been knocked out twice and lost 3 decisions out of his 6 losses. So I think KO or submission's a good one there. Sorry, KO or decision for Javid Basharat. So we're both in agreement with all of the fights so far in the prelims. Looking good. Let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Nursultan Rizoboyev against Eric McConaughey. This one here, man, Nursultan Rizoboyev is just a fucking beast, man. It's crazy. The guy's 6'5", 170 pounds. Um, you know, he's going to be 5 inches taller than Eric McConaughey. Also, he's going to have only a 1 inch reach advantage, which I find is really strange that he's so much taller but only has a 1 inch reach advantage. So Eric McConaughey does have long arms. Eric McConaughey though is a light heavyweight. He's moving down in weight. I think this fight is going to be at welterweight, so he's moving down in weight here to fight Ruzaboev. So he's going to have to lose some weight. Ruzaboev naturally at 170. You can see here the weight for Eric McConaughey at 185. So we're going to see how he looks on the weight cut there for McConaughey. Or is it the other way around? Is he going up in weight, Ruzaboyev, or is it McConaughey that's going down in weight here? Let me just.
Would be McConaughey going down then?
That's what I'm thinking here. Yeah, I think this fight is supposed to be at. Let me just double check that here, man. Don't want to make any mistakes for you guys here. Let's see. This fight is going to be a fight at. Okay, so the fight is going to be at middleweight. At middleweight, yeah. So, which means that if it's at middleweight, it's McConaughey that's going to be at his normal weight class. So it's Ruzaboyev going up in weight, actually. So he's moving up from 170 to 185. So my bad there. This fight is going to be a middleweight fight. So Nursultan is going to be moving up in weight. We'll see how he looks on the scales and stuff. But at 6'5", and he's going to be even bigger now. He's going to have to gain some weight to go to fight this guy. And Eric McConaughey hasn't really fought anybody at all. I got to go with Nursultan Rizoboyev. The guy's a finisher, man. 12 knockouts, 20 submissions. He's got 34 fights. I mean, it's absolutely 34 wins, 9 losses. He's got so many fights. It's absolutely insane. Eric McConaughey is green as fuck. He's only got 11 fights in his whole career. Never fought in the UFC. I can't see him beating a giant like this guy for his UFC debut here, man. So give me Nursultan Rizoboyev by finish. Just don't see a path to victory for McConaughey, even though McConaughey is, he's got some submission skills. He's got some knockouts and whatnot. He's pretty well-rounded. But again, he just fought bums in the lower level events, man. Tough Enough and LFA. So, I got to go with Nursultan here, who's already taken out Bruno Ferreira by knockout. He's already taken out Cedric Dumas. I mean, I can't see Eric winning here. So who do you got here, Adio?
Yeah, he's fought in plenty of times at middleweight, actually, Ruzaboev. So it shouldn't be a problem here. Yeah, Ruzaboev, to add to that, with him, I'd like to see some more varied striking with him because once he started getting tired in his last fight against, sorry for not having
Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, that's who beat him. Yeah, his strike. It seemed to show that his striking wasn't like once he started to get tired there, he became predictable. But here, I think he's going to shore that up. The guy has a lot of experience. He's been fighting for a long time, and he's still fairly young in there for the amount of fights he has. I think those power shots are going to get through on Eric Monaco. What I have to say about him is that he's pretty good in the clinch. He prefers the grappling to the striking, and I like his body kicks. He has some good body kicks. So let's see if he can land a couple of those in there. But it's short notice for him also here, Eric Monaco. And maybe I'm wrong here, but I saw that he had a fight like a week ago. Unless that was rescheduled, I think it must have been rescheduled. Meaning that he'll be in kind of fighting shape here. But also at the same time, he's 34 years old. So who knows? how desperate they were to find someone to show up for this card. Yeah, my pick's going to be Ruzaboev. Give me Ruzaboev by knockout or sub.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Me too. I got Ruzoboyev by finish here, knockout or submission. We can see that Eric Monaco's been knocked out twice already for his two losses. And also, not to mention, man, he lasted a decision against Joaquin Buckley, who we saw is amazing. Joaquin Buckley is a champion. He's awesome, and you know he's already fought a tough guy like him. Lasted till the end. Didn't get finished there, so I could see him beating Eric Monaco for sure in this one, man. All right, let's move on up to the next fight. Nice, we're in agreement with all four fights so far of the prelims. Let's get to the fifth fight here with Jan Kutelaba, the Hulk, against Ibo Aslan.
All right.
This one,
No, it's me that's gonna go here.
uh,
Uh,
for it.
yeah. So with yeah, this fight is interesting to me for a few different reasons. Like Ion Cutelaba, his last fight there against Ivan Erslan, he impressed me, man. He was more composed. He went in for takedowns at the right time. He didn't want to get into a brawl. And I'd like to see that again moving forward with Cutelaba here because he has great power and he has good skills down there if he gets it down there. Like he's capable of subbing people. And the other thing that interests me in this fight is uh, is Aslan really that good? He's aggressive in there. He likes to brawl, so that could be a thing to look out for. Both these guys could brawl and like to brawl. I don't know if Kudalaba should take that route. I think he should go for the takedowns and do his thing down there, smash him up with some ground and pound. Also, with Ibo Aslan, question mark on his gas tank. So I guess that goes for both of them pretty much, but maybe not as much as for Kudalaba because of how he fought last time. It just looked good. So I'm going to have to lean with the veteran Kudalaba, just fought way better people, just a lot more UFC experience. Not that that really matters with Kudalaba, but I'm going to lean with Kudalaba in this one. What's
Man,
the real deal?
yeah. I mean, I was thinking of Kutelaba as well there. You know, juggling a little bit back and forth between these two. Kutelaba, you know, the guy. The problem I have with Kutelaba though is, you know, he's been losing as of late. Hasn't been really looking very good in his last few fights there, man.
He looked amazing in his last one. So
Yeah, the last one he did okay. But prior to that, man, losing to Philip Lins by decision, unanimous decision loss there too, and then got knocked out by Kennedy Nzechukwu, and also got subbed by Johnny Walker. You know, and Johnny Walker has been stinking it up as of late too, and you managed to lose to him. I know it was back in 2022, but still, I mean, Johnny Walker subbed him with a rear naked choke. So, um, and the you know the knockout. Kennedy Nzechukwu knocked him out, and I'm worried about that because Ibo Aslan's got knockout power, man. The guy is a powerhouse. You can see it in the picture, man. He's crazy. He's super built and super strong, and very muscular, very tough guy. And it takes one punch from this guy. As you can see, 14 wins, 14 KOs. I mean, the guy is a knockout machine. And you know, Kutelaba has been known to get rocked and knocked out. He got knocked out 3 times already since he's been fighting in the UFC. So it's a tough one to go call here, but I'm going to go Ibo Aslan to get the win here by knockout. Kutelaba is a good dog, though, but I think Ibo Aslan's going to get the win here by knockout. I think that he catches him with something as Jan Kutelaba tries to go in for a takedown. I think that he'll, you know, try to get in close. I like the height advantage too for Ibo at 3 inches, 2 inch height advantage he's going to have. Also a 2.5 inch reach advantage for Ibo. So I can see him clipping Jan from a distance there and knocking him out. So we're in disagreement with this one. I got Ibo Aslan to win by knockout and knocking out Jan Kutelaba here, man. All right, let's move on up to the next fight here. Oh yeah, this is Andy O's fight. This is the main event, the main event of the prelims here. Andy O, I know you've been waiting for Andre Feely, touchy Feely. I know you're. This is going to be an interesting breakdown prediction by Andy O. This guy has a theory, which he's going to talk about soon, about Andre Fili. Now, is it coincidence? Is it not? We don't know, but it's very strange. But I'll let you talk about it. As for me, this fight is going to be super close between Melchizedek Costa and Fili. Costa's he's pretty good. He got a nice submission against Shayu and Becky in his last fight, but then he lost to Steve Garcia. He beat Austin Lingo, lost to Thiago Moises by submission, and then that was it for him in the UFC. Now, Andre Fili's a vet, man. This guy is 34 years old, fought a lot in the UFC. He's been fighting a lot of good opponents. Bill Algeo, Nathaniel Wood, Lucas Almeida, Dan Ige, Cub Swanson, like super good fighters, man. So he's more experienced in the UFC. He's better. Man, it's hard to trust him though because his chin is very suspect on touchy-feely. We've seen him get knocked out 4 times. And Melchizedek does have some knockouts. It's a tough one to call here. You pick your poison. It's at pick'em odds right now. If I were to go based on Andy O's theory, we should be going for Melchizedek Costa here. But man, I'm going to give him a chance here with Andre Fili here. I think I'm going to go with Andre Fili to win by KO or a decision. I think he's just a little bit better on the feet. He's got good leg kicks, and he's got some good grappling as well. So I'll go with Andre Fili, the veteran, here to get the win.
Good leg kicks and good grappling?
Yeah, I mean, he's got...
That's your reason for who to win?
Touchy-feely, man.
Okay, because you said a whole bunch of stuff on who they beat and fought and blah. I was waiting for why he's going to win the fight a little bit. Me, I'm going to skip that for this fight. That's why. I'm just going to go with... who's he fighting here?
Yeah, Zyle Costa, man.
I gotta go with Costa on this one. Plain and simple. Touchy-feely won his last fight against Cub Swanson, so he's due for a loss. That's the crack for this guy. Something happens with him that he gets too comfortable after he wins a fight that he can seemingly mentally take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit until he loses his next fight, where he's got to shape up a little bit, maybe work harder in the gym, focus more mentally. And Costa, he's pretty good. He'll find a way to win. So that's the pick. Boom. I don't have a way. He'll find it.
It's very weird. I mean, he wins, he loses, he wins, he loses, he wins. It's always been a win-loss, win-loss, win-loss with touchy-feely. It's very strange. I don't know if it's a coincidence or if it's just like you said, it's the theory you have there. It's crazy, man. But
I've been doing it the way since it started with him. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very weird one, man. Like the guy, I think this whole thing started. It started with Bill Algeo. He got that. He had 2 losses in a row to Joe Anderson Brito and Shane Shapiro in one of the lower level events. He was in the UFC before and got kicked out, and then came back into the UFC, fought Bill Algeo, and that's where he won. Then he lost. Then he won. Then he lost. Then he won. So he's due for a loss now.
And something happened before that where it was kind of an iffy sort of thing where he should have lost when he should have won, whatever. But that's not going to happen again. Everyone knows the rules now, and Fili's not allowed to win this fight. It's just the way it goes. I'm telling you, if he were to fight the champion coming off of a loss, which probably won't happen, he would win. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm picking him. But
it's a crazy theory, man. But if you're right on this one, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is going on here?
There you go.
All right. So there you have it, folks. Our early predictions for the prelims. Listen, this Melchizedek Costa Andre Fili fight, man. You know what? I'm starting to think about that Costa can maybe take him, man.
Bro, there's only one thing to think about. I was glad I didn't have to look too hard into this fight because it's a dead even fight, dead even odds.
It's really pick your poison here. Look, I'm gonna go with Andre Fili. I'll stick with him, man. But we'll see if we change my mind on Friday. We'll see. But for now, I'm gonna go with Andre Fili to get the win. But It's crazy, man. All
Yeah,
right.
definitely playing with fire there. Yeah, one thing. You know how a lot of YouTubers out there they have all these fancy and cool ways to say we'd love you for to for you to subscribe and to like. Pretend I said all of that cool shit and do it.
Yeah, but guys, just give us a like, subscribe if you're new, and there you have it, folks. Our early predictions for the prelim. Stay tuned for the main event coming up next. KAMMA. Stay tuned. Our main card coming up next.